Hello, everyone. We're back. And we got some fun news to share with you guys. And yeah.
So I guess we don't want to go too much into it because I think
Not
it's
yet.
still a surprise
Not yet,
somewhat. But we do have a giveaway coming up, and we'll release more details on 420. Should we say anything that we're doing on 420, or like we're just gonna kind of keep it on the low?
Let's kind of keep it under wraps for now.
Okay.
This episode's going to air I forget what day, but it's going to be the Thursday. You guys will know.
15th.
But
15th.
Yep, the 15th. And then, yeah, we're going to have a special episode going for 420. So definitely stay tuned for that because we are going to announce a little bit more about what we're going to do. And I think you guys are really going to like it. So we're really excited. We hope you guys are excited. And just stay tuned because we're not going to really post too much about it on social media until the day. So you're only going to be able to know the details and stuff if you listen to the pod. We want to keep it very much like people who really support us, people who listen to us like consistently, you know?
Right. And it'll make sense why we're keeping things a little bit under wrapped. Think it'll be more exciting that way too. So
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to it. And in case you don't watch the video format of the podcast, we do have a new setup now. We got this new backdrop painted yesterday. We got new lights. I feel like we're very much stepping forward in our production. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. So if you don't watch the video format, if you want to take a look at it, go ahead, feel free. But
For sure. I mean, I know we post clips and stuff and you can see it, but if you want to see it in like full form, I
Right.
guess watch the YouTube videos just because I know like the clips cut us off in the middle. But
you see that one comment that said like, I never realized that you guys weren't close to each other, or you guys look so close to each other.
oh
but you're
yeah,
not.
that's how you know the lighting match was like really good because we looked really close. We're not that close, guys.
No. But we're closer now. So. So. So I don't know about you. Like, did you ever share a room with your siblings at all?
Yeah, but I was like really young though.
So you guys had like your own separate rooms at like, just
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, probably like when we turned like maybe like when we went into like middle school and we wanted like our own space, you know.
Okay. So my mom's sister my aunt was living with us for a little bit, and so she had the room upstairs with Pedro. So Pedro had his own room, and then my aunt had her own room, and then my parents had their room, and I shared a room with Jonathan. And so like we just always grew up with the same room, and we had bunk beds and like all that stuff, you know.
Oh, I had a bunk bed too.
Oh
It
yeah,
was lit.
dude,
It
they're
was
cool.
lit,
They're
yeah.
cool.
But we had the one that had like the queen size on the bottom and then the twin
Damn.
on top. And me being me, I'm like, no, like I want the top. So I got the top, and then my older sister, my little sister, slept on the bottom. Maybe it was a full. Maybe a queen is a little big, but I think it was like a full.
Yeah, queen is huge to have a bunk bed on top of it. So yeah, we had bunk beds, but like eventually we took the bunk beds off, and our beds were just like next to each other. Dude, our room looked so small because of the fucking beds. But so eventually my aunt ended up moving out for whatever reason, and Jonathan decided he wanted to take the upstairs room. So then I stayed downstairs. I'm like, whatever, I don't really care. I just want my own room. And so he had upstairs, and then there was one day where we had a family party, and like I'm pretty sure it was just like one of my cousins like fucking with him, or like I don't know who it was,
Or
whatever.
maybe just like not even fucking with him, just fucking around.
Yeah, exactly. They just have like a Sharpie in their hand, you know. And so Jonathan that same night saw in his window that there was a number 13, like it was written on the window, and it was written like marker, so it seemed like it was just like, you know, any regular person could just fucking write the number 13 on there, but he was like so convinced that it wasn't like a cousin. He was convinced that it was like a ghost, or he was convinced that like the house was haunted.
Right.
But like the couple that lived there before, it was an old couple. But like they didn't die in the house or anything. They moved out. But Pedro and my older cousins told us that there was a body buried in the attic of Jonathan's room upstairs. And so like maybe that's where he got it like in his head that
It was haunted.
That it was haunted.
Like they're coming for him.
Right.
That is
They
so
wrote the number
funny.
13.
I thought he would have been spooked because because like, oh my god, like bangers are coming for me or some shit like that. That's what
No, it was
I
on the
thought.
inside of the room. Like
Still,
literally on
like,
the
what if your
screen.
little cousins were like bangers?
Dude, my cousins weren't bangers, I promise you.
Oh my god.
But yeah, then eventually he just he was like, I don't want to be up here no more. So
Oh
then I
shit.
took the upstairs room. Like I was just being a little, fucking pussy. Just like stay upstairs is fine. But he's very sensitive to stuff like that, and so he just doesn't. If it involves anything like spirits or like scary movies, even like stuff like that, he just doesn't fuck with it. So he
Yeah.
was like, I'm going downstairs, and so he moved
Shit.
downstairs, and I moved upstairs, and to this day I
You guys
haven't
haven't
heard
moved?
anything. Well, we haven't
Oh.
moved either, yeah. But like I
Have you
haven't heard
told them like,
anything.
bro, like there's nothing.
I
Like
think we
nothing's
just gave
going
him. I
on.
think we just gave him that look. You know what I mean? That look like.
The little like little brother look.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, young America, we need to talk about something called grass. Not that grass. I'm talking about marijuana. It's stimulating, mind expanding.
And yeah, but like to this day, I feel like I haven't heard anything in the house.
Mm-hmm.
How about in your house? Have you felt or seen or heard anything?
No, so like so my house before it burnt down, it was a very old house. It was over 100 years old, and I did feel something weird in that house, but I was a kid, so I really didn't pay any mind to it. But I do remember like my uncles, cuz like my house was kind of like where everyone would come when they would come from Mexico. So there's a lot of people like coming in and out. Literally the entire side of my dad's family has at one point stayed at that house. And so my uncles like sometimes were living there, and they would say, I think they were just like fucking with us though, like, oh, like there's a ghost in like the attic, because we had like a little room. But I never went. Like I never went in there. I think my older sister was the only one to go in there, and I don't know, it just looked super creepy, but I didn't really think it was like, oh my god, like haunted, you know? But he would always be like, no, like there's something weird, like whatever. But I'm just like, whatever. But no, but now I do have like, since I have a lot of nightmares, some of the nightmares consist of like that house, which makes me feel like maybe the house was kind of haunted. But I don't know, because I don't know what's real in that. But that since the house burnt down, like they tore it up, like they tore the whole thing up, the foundation, everything. So like now it's like this like newer house and completely brand new. So I don't like nothing's really like attached there, you know. If they would have found a dead body, they would have done it by now,
Right.
you know. So no, I think it's like super fine.
But what if like when the house burnt down? That's like when the spirits were all freed. They were like, okay, like there's no more property here to haunt or to haunt. We have to
Well,
move on.
that could be the case, you know. That could be the case.
Damn. I don't know if I told this last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't think so. But when I was in the living room with my dad, we heard the door, like the inside of the door kind of shake, like from the back door. So we all come in from the back, like no one goes into the front. And I'm sitting, like, how do I say this? So my dad has seen stuff in the house. And like he's told us he's seen things, but like we just like shake it off, or like we don't really like worry about it too much.
You don't tell Jonathan because he
We don't
gets
tell
scared.
Jonathan. Yeah, we don't tell Jonathan because he won't fall asleep. For a long time, Jonathan was really scared of like thunderstorms, like the dog.
I hate thunderstorms, dude. You're stupid like a dog.
No, like the dog. Like Mia
Oh.
gets freaked out. So dude, she hides behind the couches and shit.
No, dude, I get freaked out.
Oh,
I don't
yeah?
like them.
I do. It's calming.
I get spooked.
What is it about it though?
It's like the loud thunder noise. Like that's it. And I know that like when a huge like strike of lightning comes, I know it's
yeah.
coming. So I'm like, But yeah.
There was an episode of Arthur where like they had a countdown. Every time there was like a thunderstorm to like calm down the kid, they were like, okay, like you know it's coming, so because you can count down like 3 to 5 seconds, and then like
Yeah.
it'll make the big boom. And like I tried doing that, but it doesn't really match up that well. But
No, it's
Yeah.
more of like, I guess you can't really like count down to it. You can only like count down up until it happens, and that's like what do they say? Like it's like however many miles away. So like if it happens like consistently like over and over again, like that means the storm is there. It's close, you know. But if not, like it's either going away or it's like coming towards you.
I didn't know
Some shit
that.
like that.
I didn't know that. What do you do if your car gets struck by lightning?
I thought your car was like safe from like getting struck by lightning. Because people say like, oh, if you're like in a storm or something like that, like your car is safe. I think because of the tires, because they're like rubber or whatever. And it's fuck, what's the word? Where like it's like a conductor or
So I guess like rubber wouldn't be the conductor. It would be a resistor.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. That's why I feel like you'd be safe in your car, kind of. For the most part. I don't know.
Imagine being one of the few people that survived the lightning strike. I feel like a god.
Oh my
I'd be
god.
like, nothing
that's
could kill
fucking
me.
Scary.
You're just a little crispy, you know. You're just like,
No.
realistically though, like how much damage can that cost you? Like if you survive a lightning strike, do you think you have long lasting effects?
Probably because I think when that happens, don't you have like a heart attack? Because you're like, I think your body resets, you know?
Fuck.
If you guys have ever been struck by lightning, let us know. We want to know. But no, I just like really hear like the most common thing I hear is like garage doors getting struck. Like I always hear about garage doors getting struck by lightning and they just look like dented, like fucked up. That's all I know though. But they do cause like fires, like house fires. So if like a house gets struck, like it could
Fuck.
definitely go down.
We have a tree in our front yard that we've had there since it's probably been there for fucking years at this point. But my mom wants to knock it down because she's scared that with the next storm and with like a strong wind, that tree is just gonna like fall into the house.
Yeah.
And my rooms, that would be the first one that'd get destroyed. But I'm like, I kind of don't want to knock it down. It's been there forever, and like we're one of the only few houses on the block that have a tree, and I think it looks nice, you know.
Maybe just like trimming it. That's what we did because we had a really big tree in like it was like thousands of years old, like right in front of the
crazy.
house. It was huge, like thick trunk, you know. And what we would do was just like trim it because the branches would really get on like the roof and shit. So we would just like trim it, and then eventually my dad's like, not that it was like an eyesore, but it was like too much to keep up with.
That's
so they
my
just like
mom's
cut
thing,
it
yeah.
down.
Damn.
But like that shit it ran deep. Like it literally took forever to literally unroot the entire trunk. They had to go really deep for it.
So they have to like dig into the fuck.
Yeah.
See, like that's what I know. Like if we end up, so I guess like we have to figure out whether we want to deal with the trimming of it, like because eventually my dad's not gonna be able to go up there and trim it himself, you know.
Right.
And I doubt like we're gonna go up there and trim it, and so like, eventually he's gonna have to like pay someone to come do it because I don't think the city does it. Maybe they do it if you ask them to, but like they might charge you or some shit.
Yeah.
But it's either you keep up the trimming or you have to like excavate it and like fucking bring it up and like ruin your lawn and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think like you just have to see which one is worse or which one in the long run is better. But I don't know. I personally like the tree.
Yeah, because what my dad does a lot, probably like every like 3 years, he like unroots like everything, like all like the grass, like everything to like plant new grass.
Really?
So my sister, since she just bought a house, the grass is like kind of fucked, you know. She has like a bunch of stuff that like she doesn't really want in like in the lawn, like a couple trees she doesn't want, whatever. So like my dad and my uncle go over there and they just like, what's the word in English? Escarbar. I don't know what the word is.
Just
in
like
English.
like lawn care.
I guess, but like unrooting. Like
Isn't it
escarbar.
excavate?
I think
Am I thinking the wrong
excavate. I guess yeah. And they just like took everything out, like all the grass, and they just planted new grass. So hopefully by like the end of like this season, some like nice little grass will come out. Cause you know she wants to have it looking nice.
I could see you having a huge garden eventually.
You think so?
Do like a greenhouse.
I would like a
vegetables.
greenhouse. I don't think I would want a big lawn. I would want like a nice greenhouse. Cause I don't want to like take care of like grass and shit.
So
I want to take care of my plants.
I feel you. Do you think grass is a waste of space? Because I saw this on a Reddit forum one time. They're like, why do we have literally like so much grass. Like we can't eat it. We can't like use it for medicine and stuff. Like there's just grass everywhere. So like why don't we replace that with like wheat?
I don't know. Like, I feel like it serves a purpose. Like, probably a purpose we don't really know. Because, I mean, a lot of, like, smaller, like, insects and shit, like, they live, like, in the grass, like, whatever. And I'm sure it's crucial. Like, I'm positive it's crucial for the ecosystem. Like, I'm sure it is. Let's not fuck it up. Hold up. Don't do anything to it. Dude, you know the reason, like, dogs eat grass? It's because, like, they're, like, sick or some shit.
No way.
I think so. I think I read that, like, oh, if your dog is eating grass and, like, throwing it up, like, he's, like, sick and he's, like, trying to, like, clean its system.
What?
So sometimes, like, when my dog would eat grass, we'd be like, is something okay with it? So we would, like, take it to the vet and, like, it'd just be, like, a little sick.
That's cool.
You know?
See, like I didn't know that, and I feel like Mia doesn't eat the grass. 'Cause I try to take her out a lot now, and like I haven't seen her like just grab a good chunk of it. So I'm glad like her diet's going well.
Yeah.
But she does have an issue with like eating her poop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude,
But
I'm sure that's something.
I read though like early because she's been doing this since like forever, right? And it's not like all of it. She doesn't like look forward to it or anything. But like if it's just been out there for a minute, like downstairs, she'll probably like eat it because it has a sense of her food. And so like they think it's almost food. Or like it has some other food in there. So I don't know, maybe she just wants like a snack or something.
Like, I also know that, like, some dogs, when they're, like, trying to get house trained, they, like, eat their poop because they know it's bad. Like, they know it's bad. They're like, oh my gosh, I just shit in the house. Like, I'm going to try to get rid of it, like, get rid of the evidence, before they come and find out. And then they, like, try to eat it,
Dude, maybe she is doing that because I've gotten her used to using the bathroom outside now. Outside now. But, like, she doesn't come upstairs. So we take her downstairs in the morning to eat, right? And she doesn't come upstairs until, like, we seen that she poops, right? Because that means, like, she's not going to poop upstairs. And, like, we have her pads upstairs in case she does or anything. But, like, now what she'll do is just wait till she goes outside to use the bathroom. So maybe she's like, all right, if they don't see my poop downstairs, they're gonna assume that they have to take me outside.
Right.
So now they're gonna take me outside, even though I don't have to poop. So now she's just like fucking with this. She's playing mind games with us, bro.
Dude, I feel like animals do play mind games.
Dude, they're
Like,
smart.
The pets, yeah.
They're really smart. Dude, I didn't tell you when I was painting my room like 2 weeks ago. I was like in the corner, right, just painting my room, and I hear this loud ass smack into the window. Like I thought someone threw a fucking rock or like a ball at the window, right? And
It's the 13s. They're coming for you.
It's a 14 on there now. But no, I genuinely got like spooked. I was, what the fuck? Like I jumped. I wasn't expecting that. So I went to the window and I was just looking around like, what the stupid little kids? Like what the fuck? Like who's throwing shit?
Because you're like on the top floor.
Right,
like,
I'm on the
this
top
isn't-
floor.
Yeah,
Right.
like ground level.
And to like, in order to throw something at my window, you kind of have to get in front of the tree that's blocking my window. So I'm like, this was done on purpose. Like this wasn't an accident. Like, someone purposely threw something at my window. And what the fuck? So I go look at the window and I don't see any kids or anything. But at the corner of my eye, I see like something move. Like a little like flicker. And I was like, what the fuck? So I look down and in the gutter, it's a bird.
Was it dead?
I thought it was because it
my
wasn't moving.
God.
The funny thing is it was like belly up and it was like moving its head. So
Oh my
he
God.
crashed into the window and it was just there and I was like, fuck, like should I help it? Like, it looks like it's dying. So my dad comes out the bathroom and he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, fucking bird
bird.
just like smashed into the window. And he opens the window and just starts calling it, but like wasn't moving at all. So he's just like, it's all right. I mean, he's like, it happens.
Aw.
And he's like, he probably
You
saw
start
the light.
crying.
I'm very sensitive when it comes to animals, but in that case, I was like, dude, like, why would you climb into the window? Like, that's like, why? Like, there's no purpose for you to do that. Like, you have all that space around you outside, and you crash into the window.
Oh my God.
And my dad said that he probably saw like the light on the ceiling, and like maybe that's what he was aiming for or something. So he thought it was like
Maybe.
the sun. But he crashed into the window, and eventually, after like 20 minutes, when we went to go check back in the gutter, he was gone. So he got up and flew away.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna rot there, and you're gonna like smell it in your room.
I think we would have like taken it off. But my worry was that sometimes I smoke out of my window, and sometimes I smoke out of my window, and like I might just like toss the little crutch
the
into the
roach?
gutter. Yeah, like into the
Yeah.
gutter. And I was like,
You burn it.
fuck.
You see a little fire outside. You're like, wait.
And my worry was like my dad was gonna go clean the gutter and find all the little fucking roaches and shit. I'm like, oh my god.
Shit.
I'm not
He's
ready
sending
for
you
that
to
conversation.
rehab.
Oh, shit.
You come inside. It's your whole family. It's an intervention.
Mia's there too. In the
Mia's there
couch.
too.
She's leading the intervention.
She has like a bag of roaches in her mouth.
Dude, do you have a favorite struggle meal?
Oh, like a struggle meal like now that I'm an adult, or like a struggle meal from like before when I was really struggling.
Well, I
like,
guess
more.
give us two. Give us like the one where you're struggling.
Okay, so when I was in college and I dormed, right? My struggle meal. No one say it's nasty because it sounds like decent. Okay, no one try to roast me, but I would get flour tortillas from like the Target because I live near a Target, and I would get like canned chicken and like a bag of like cheese. And I would just like put it all on like one side of the tortilla and then put another one on top and just like throw it in the microwave.
It's like a quesadilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But like it wasn't good. Like the chicken wasn't good. Like I hate flour tortillas. Like it was like I would have rather not ate that, you know? But it did the trick. It did the trick.
And what about now? Like what's your
And
struggle meal now?
now usually
Let's
when
see how
I'm just
far
like,
you've come.
no, see, now, like, I think it's, like, less because now what I do is usually just warm up a tortilla, just not even on the comal, just, like, on the flame. So it's quick, you know? And I just put, like, queso fresco on it. And then I just eat that. Or sometimes I put a little Valentina on it, you know, for a little spice.
That's not bad.
That's good.
That's good,
Sometimes if
yeah.
I have, like peanuts, like, I'll eat it with it. Or un taco de sal. It always hits.
What is that?
Un taco de
a
sal?
tortilla with sal on top?
Yeah, sometimes if you're feeling fancy, like put a little limon so the salt sticks a little better. But yeah, you tortilla, salt, lime, eat it.
If I did that, I feel like I would break my teeth. Oh my god, you're so quick. You ever had tortilla with like a salchicha?
Yeah, bro. Ooh, that's good.
But like they're like the salchicha is like cut in half. It's like a little slit down the
salchipulpo?
middle. Tell me why when at the when
The
I used
Michoacana?
when I was working at the
knew it.
Michoacana,
They would make them.
the salchipulpos were but they came like later down the line, maybe like a year in. That's when we started selling them. But like nobody ordered them, like nobody. But,
Even
like,
after you put them on the menu.
yeah, just like I just maybe we get like the occasional order, maybe like one every like 3 days.
Would it be
but,
like a mocoso? Be like, oh, I want one.
and like the employees, we would just like warm them up for ourselves. We were like, we don't want them to go bad. We might as well eat it. But they're just so fire. You just wrap it on a tortilla and you put it in the fryer. Oh my god,
I'm
dude,
dead.
so good, so good.
Is that a struggle meal for you?
It used to be, yeah, like salchicha and just hot dogs in general. I feel like with my struggle meal. Like, that's when I knew like my mom was out of town or something because my dad's cooking in the house. I'm like, oh okay, like this is what my dad's making, and he just always makes us like boiled hot dogs. And, like that's what we would eat.
Nice.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, we when we would make hot dogs, or like hot dogs, we would just put them on the tortilla, but we would we would put the salchicha in a plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag, and like put it in the microwave. And like, so
What
if you
the
put it if you
fuck?
put it in the microwave for a certain amount of time, the bag pops. So like once the bag pops, we know it's ready. I'm sure that's fucking terrible. But that's how we did it. Oh, I have this really good story. Like when we were kids, we my parents would work a lot, so I'm gonna expose the fam really quick. But like unfortunately, like due to the circumstances, like my parents aren't bad parents, like they just had to do what they had to do to like provide. So like they would leave us home alone. And they would just tell us, like, don't open the door for anyone. Like, close all the windows, close all the blinds, like, whatever. You're not home. You're not here. And we were like, okay. So literally it was like the three of us. And we were just like fucking around in the house, like, all day. Like, especially in the summer when we didn't have school. And we, I mean, my mom would cook, but sometimes, like, we would want to eat different things, you know? So we, like, I was definitely like a Maruchan type of kid growing up.
Dude,
Like, I was
yes.
definitely a Maruchan kid. And
What are you, gusanos and shit?
and we would like they're pretty easy, like, so we knew how to make them, but my little sister was a little bit younger, so like she didn't really like she knew what to do, but she didn't fully grasp it. And then like one day she was not under our supervision, she got hungry and she was trying to make a maruchan. And she put it in the microwave. Like, I know that's terrible, but we all did it. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, no,
She
definitely.
put it in the microwave, and that shit started smoking.
Did
I
you
was
forget
like,
the water?
"Bro, yes. We took it out. We're like, what the fuck is going on? And it smelled like fucking burnt. And like we took it out, and the fucking styrofoam was literally like black. And the maruchan was black. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do we do? We're children. And like, I was like, what did you do? And she's like, oh, like, I don't think I put water in it. I'm like, bro. It fucked up the microwave. It fucked it up. But I did not
Damn.
snitch. I did not snitch.
What did you guys tell your parents?
I think my older sister probably ended up snitching, but because I never did. I was like, oh, I don't know what happened. Like, oh, I think someone's trying to make a maruchan. Like, I didn't
That's
make it.
basically you snitching.
Well, because they saw the maruchan
Oh,
cup.
it was still in there.
No, we took it out. It was like in the trash. But I'm pretty sure they were like, what the fuck happened? But I didn't say it was her. I didn't snitch on her. But
You're like, it's not me. And it's
but
not the older one, so I'm not telling you who it is.
I'm sure they know. And I brought that up like the other day at the family gathering, and I looked at my sister. I was like, I just want to let you know I didn't snitch on you. But yeah, we had to get a new microwave, and I felt really bad.
Dude, kids are fucking expensive for the shit they do like that. Microwaves back then, how long ago was it? Like 10, 15 years?
Yeah,
Dude, that shit's
dude.
expensive.
That's why I felt like really bad, because like they were probably really expensive back then. Like you could get like a Walmart microwave for like maybe like $30. Like, I'm sure. Like a coffee maker that I got when I went to college, I bought it at Walmart, and I think that shit was like $15.
Damn.
It was like a super shitty one, but I was like, damn.
I mean, I guess a job done. Or,
Yeah, like it was pretty decent.
Like, it's like sometimes I'm like, this shit doesn't cost. It's like, it's not as expensive as I thought it was. But obviously, over 10, 15 years, you're like, okay, man, the price has obviously gone up. But yeah, sometimes we just do like stupid shit when we're left home alone. Like, especially, like I told you how I speared Jonathan to the table because we were watching WWE. I told
yeah.
this is like a long episode.
Yeah.
This is like almost last year. I'm trying to think. There was like this one time. What the fuck did we break? So downstairs, our basement doesn't really have like high ceilings. And everything's just like, what is it called? Like just plaster. The walls. It's not like it's dry. It's drywall, so like,
Right.
it breaks really easily.
Right.
And us being the boys that we are, always playing soccer and like pushing each other and shit. You know, like, we'd really test each other.
Your parents would be working; they'd lock you in the basement. stay down there.
Dude, that's scary. I hate. Oh my god, going up the stairs in the basement is so terrifying, especially after you turn off the lights. 'Cause you can't turn on the lights at the top. You have to turn it off and on at the
Oh,
bottom.
shit.
So like you're in the darkness for a little bit. And as I'm growing older, I'm like, nothing's
Pussy
gonna
shit.
happen. But like, I'm like low key like hopping an extra step when I come upstairs. But like the lights up in the basement, they're never covered. They're just like like long ass fluorescent lights. And so we'd be playing like soccer downstairs. And
Oh, shit.
someone wants to fucking show off, right? And start like kicking the shit out the ball. And eventually the light the ball hits the light and the light falls and like makes this like popping noise, like loud ass popping noise. And then like you hear the popping noise and you just hear the steps. You just hear my dad's steps
Oh, shit.
coming to the door. And we're just like, fuck, like this
How
is
you
it.
know?
And then there's another time where, and my dad just kept these lights on hand at this point because we broke it a lot. And so he just had
You
them.
guys-
in,
oh
and
my
we just had
God.
them in like just a
Like a little
extra
storage.
room, right?
Oh my god, terrible.
Yeah. And then this one time, Pedro tossed Jonathan into the wall. I think he just like bumped him, And then Jonathan lost his footing and just like ended up in the wall. And like this fat ass hole was in the wall. And like I heard my dad coming downstairs again. And I'm just sitting on the steps. I'm like, that wasn't me. I'm
Oh
like,
my
I'm not
God.
taking this for this one. And I'm just sitting on the steps and I'm just looking at them. And I was I was like,
You're such a parent. Stop. I feel like the middle child has to be like the voice of reason in situations like that,
the voice of reason. Mm-hmm. What was your reasoning for the microwave?
I just didn't get involved. I was like, whoa, wait. I don't know what's going on. But I remember like growing up, I didn't like my parents would like sometimes like yell at my little sister. And I always was just trying to like almost like talk down her like punishment. Be like, I think you're being a little harsh or whatever, but never with like my older sister. Because she was really bogus to me. She was really bogus to me, like, growing up. So, like, I always tried to, like, defend my little sister, like, a little bit more. But, yeah.
No, we never got involved. If one sibling was getting an ass whooping, it's because, like, we don't get involved. Because then we're going to get the ass whooping.
Oh, my gosh.
It's that whole thing with, like, my bad. Were you going to say something?
No.
I thought I cut you off. I'm sorry. It's like the whole thing with like I'm trying to better my relationship with my dad because I feel like after the years he didn't like beat us, like let me like make that clear, he didn't like beat us, but like yeah, he did hit us, and for a long time I was like in the same mindset where I was like, oh, like I turned out fine, like I'm gonna hit my kids, like it's okay. And obviously now I'm like
You're like, wait, maybe that's a little too much.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to hit my kids because
Right, like let me reflect on how that actually fucked me up.
right, and just like different things like that. And so, but like now I'm trying to better my relationship with my dad because with my mom, when I have a conversation with her, it's very much like, what have we been up to? Like, even like future like goals, like what are you looking forward to? Just like regular conversation, But with my dad, I always feel like it's conversations about money, it's conversations about like work. And so like that shit stresses me out. And so like talking to my dad stresses me out. And so like I've been trying to move away from those conversations because I remember how last time we talked about how like you're like your dad loves his job and likes to work, and so you talked to him about like his work, but like for me that's like all it is, and so like I just want like some sort of separation from work and everything else, and I think like it'll be healthy for him to move away from like that conversation too. And it's like I try to like bring up conversations. It's like the conversations that I bring up with him aren't always like the best. Like move away subjects. They're kind of problematic, but like it's just a conversation that we're having. And so when we were at breakfast, the whole conversation about like God and like religion came up and shit.
Ooh.
But like I was asking like genuine questions. I was like, why are you guys Catholic? Like, was it because your parents are Catholic? Was it because their parents are Catholic? Like, where did it start? And like, neither of them really had a good explanation for a starting point. But they said that like that's just the way like we were raised, and like but my dad was very like, and like that's the way it is. And I was like, well, I don't believe that. And I was like, well, I don't believe that. I believe that we don't even know if there's a God. Maybe there's a God. Maybe there's multiple gods. You know what I mean? Just like that stuff. And he was just like, no, there's one God, and there's like Jesus, and like that's what it is.
That's it. Yeah.
And I'm but like why?
How do you know this?
Exactly, and I'm asking him like why or how, because I genuinely want him to explain to me like just why do you feel that way? You know, why do you find faith in that religion? I genuinely want to know, and I feel like he was taking it because he didn't have an actual answer.
He's getting defensive.
He was getting very defensive. Exactly, and like that's where I want to like change his mindset. Is like, I'm not trying to argue against you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you so that I could possibly understand you a bit better. You could understand me a bit better, and we can have conversations about other things. Because I try to ask him, like, you know, about life in Guatemala and like the Gomez family. Like, what does the name come from? Like, stuff like that.
Right, because before you said that, like, to him, like, the Gomez family is, like, something really important to him.
Right, exactly. And like he was telling me like the Gomez family at one point like had money, but then like there was problems with land. You know how it usually
The
goes.
terrenos.
Yeah, like
you know.
always like that. And then like just families started splitting apart and this and that. And I was just I don't know, I was very interested in that stuff. I want to know more about it. But like when it comes to regular everyday things, I want to move away from work and all that stressful shit because he probably doesn't even know how much stress work actually carries into the house.
Right.
You know? But
Especially if, like, that's what he's been doing his entire life.
that's what I'm saying. So I
Like-
don't blame him, right?
No, definitely. Like, I understand. Like, my dad, like, the other day he called me literally to just, like, vent about work. And, like, I just sit there and, like, talk to him, like, oh, like, you know, like, super interesting, whatever. But sometimes I do want to, like, stray away from that, like you're saying. Sometimes I'm like, oh, well, like, how are you doing with, like, the stuff going on in, like, Mexico? Or, like, because he has terrenos, like, right now that, like, recently my grandpa passed away, like, there's like some tension, you know, but so I'm just like, well, what are your goals? Like, what do you want, like, in the future? So, like, same thing, but I don't know. I feel like the conversations like that, like those defensive talks that you have with your dad, like, do you feel like maybe he's just like an old dog? And by old dog, I mean, like, you can't change his ways, like his mindset.
See, I don't truly believe that. Like, I feel like you can change someone's mindset, but like they have to want to change. Because maybe my dad just doesn't realize that literally the way he believes the things, the reason he believes the things is he believes it because that's what he was taught and that's how he was raised, and like that was it. But like for me, for example, and then I feel like the ways that they were raised carry into the ways that we were raised too. And but like there was one point in my life where I was like, I questioned it. I was like, well, why is this the only way? Like there has to be other ways. I have friends who were raised differently, so like, you know what I mean? Like there's just questions that start to form. And I feel like for my dad, like those questions haven't started to form. Like shit, like, or maybe they have, and like he just
Maybe he just
dismissed
like
them.
doesn't care
Or doesn't
enough.
care, right? But like I want to know why. Like I want, like tell me, like I want to know why.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely, like, parents in general, especially like being like first gen, the parents themselves, like, they carry so much trauma like within them that like is carried on from like their parents, and now it's like being like charged up on us. And you know, like they have to also want to like fix themselves, but I don't even think they even are aware that like this is trauma. You know, like, yeah, like my parents are always like, yeah, like my parents would like beat the shit out of us with like a stick from the backyard. And they would like laugh and I'd be like, that's kind of fucked up, you know? And they're like, no, like that's just how we were raised. Like, you know, that we didn't do that shit again. Like we were fucking around. But I'm like, I don't know. Like that's not good.
Right.
You know?
Like it doesn't sound like something that I want to go through, because eventually I feel like you end up hating the person who's beating you.
Right. Like
Right.
you hold like resentments, and then like that's how like the family tree gets kind of like fucked up. Like, I don't know. It's just like too much. But I think it's good that you want to like kind of like change their mindset. I think that's a good step to start with.
I think, yeah, definitely. I'm also trying to like, I think change the way I communicate with my dad. Like maybe if we don't get if maybe if we don't communicate well when it comes to words, like if he's like sitting down at the table and he's like eating, I'll just like come back and like put my hands on his shoulders and just be like, that's like me letting you know like whatever,
here.
like I'm here, or like that's my way of saying hi to you, you know? Because I have a lot of friends who, when I saw them come home and they saw their parents, they would shake their dad's hand. Like we don't do that, and we never
wow.
did that, and that always I guess I don't know, like amazed me. So it's just like like there's other people who do different things, and like they have different relationships with their parents. And so like when I realized that, I was like, I think when I saw that I was like 13. So like
wow.
when I started having these thoughts about like my relationship with my dad, and I just like maybe starting to resent him for the way he raised us, it was very young. And I feel like I'm trying to change that whole perspective. Like now that I understand that it wasn't his fault, I don't want to take the blame off of him completely, but like, you know, but at to some extent, he's just doing what he was taught and
Yeah.
how he was raised. And like that's all he knows, because when he's not at home, he's at work. So like I feel like there's never any chance for him to have a conversation about anything else besides that and what or basically what's on TV.
Yeah.
And so like he's not in any environment that will teach him a new way of living.
Right.
Where like myself, like I feel like I put myself and I find myself in situations, even like with our relationship, like you and I feel like I've learned a lot about myself based on like conversations we've had, and like just like I said, like that conversation we had about you telling me, well, my dad likes to listen or likes to talk about work, so I try to listen. And like I've tried to do that, you know, I've tried to be more open-minded to it, but then maybe like steering the conversation away from work eventually.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah, dude.
basically it's tough, but
It's definitely tough. I get it.
because it's gonna take more than, you know, that's like fucking 50 years of just conditioning, and that's how it was. So I'm trying to like unwind all that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like going back to what you were saying about like seeing your friends, like parents and stuff, like, you know, they greet them, they shake their hand. Like before, like, I don't know, I feel like we didn't really do that with our dad. Like I think what we do now, like definitely is like we hug each other, you know, but I think that's like at most like the most physical that we get like with our dad. But like with my mom, like we're very much like we hug each other all the time, like, you know, we hold hands, like all this shit. And a lot of the times, like I would see videos of like on TikTok, I would see videos of like they're like girls as like dads like hugging them and like carrying them and like all this shit. And I'd be like, wow, like what it's like to have like a super affectionate dad. And I'm not trying to say my dad doesn't love me, because my dad loves me, you know, and my dad loved me growing up and like whatever, but like that never happened with us. And I'm like, it kind of makes me a little sad, but I just accept it. I'm just like, well, I get what I get, and that's fine. Like I'm good with like just hugging and stuff, because like maybe he's not even comfortable doing that, because maybe that's not like his love language. Like he loves more of like acts of service. Like he loves doing that. Like, and he would do like literally anything for us. So yeah, I think it's just like also understanding like what's like their love language in terms of like family and stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
I feel like my dad would also be acts of service. He definitely, like, you tell him like, oh, I need this changed, or like, you know, like, oh, I've been thinking about like, because for the product stuff, I thought it'd be cool to get a table that's like this high in order to shoot like close detail stuff like jewelry or shoes, instead of
Right.
having to get to the fucking ground all the time, you know.
Right.
And so I'm looking for this table specifically, and I was gonna go buy it at IKEA, but he ended up just like making it. And
Aw.
like, but it's like a little shaky, but it's all right. Sorry, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But cause the thing is, he was trying to spend so much money on a table. I'm like, dude, like, no, like I'd rather just make it myself. If it's gonna come down to like me just finding a table, because I was just trying to go to the flea market and just like find a table, and like that's it. And but like then I came home one day and it was like that was there. So I was like, that's how I know. Like he's trying to show his affection. So I'm like, how
Right.
can I find a way to show my affection if it's not communicating?
Right.
You know. And with my dad, it's definitely, I guess, like acts of service. Yeah.
Like I just want to like put my parents, I just want to like shrink them and put them in my pocket I just carry them with me like all day, every day. I always tell them that. Like I'm like, oh, like I wish I could have you like with me every single day, and they're like, oh, like I would want nothing more. You know, like. That's why, like, when I recently went to Mexico on the trip with them, it was just me and them, and it wasn't my sisters. And I felt like I really got to know them, like them personally, and then like them as like a relationship. Because like we never really saw that. Like we would always see like loving parents growing up, but I didn't really like see who they were and like who they were in their relationship until then. And I'm like, like they're actually really fun. So like I really want to like travel more with them and like just do stuff or whatever, because they're like friends, you know. And like I always tell my mom, like I want you to know that like I get that you're a mom, but like I also understand that you're like a woman and you want to like do other things, you know. So like whatever you want to do, like let's do it, you know. Like don't look at me like, obviously, like look at me as a daughter, but like look at me as your friend. And you know, like let's go shopping, like, you know, do whatever you want to do. And yeah, like I want to do that a little bit more with my dad, just because like it's all girls, but I also kind of want to be like, Dad, like what do you want to do, you know, like let's do something.
Dude,
But
that's crazy. I was literally just thinking the other day. I was like, I should buy tickets to like a Sox game or something, because my dad likes to go to baseball games or just games in general. And I feel like now that we're older and like we all have different schedules, like that just does not happen. Like we'd always go to the Chicago Fire games when Cuauhtemoc was there, dude. Ooh, those were the best times. Like no one can tell me the energy in the stadium was any time like better than when Cuauhtemoc was there, dude. That shit was fire. But like those were the days though where like, or like when my dad took us to like soccer practice, and like, you know, like he would always try to be like the second coach, you know, like he'd always try to be so involved.
The soccer dad.
Yeah, dude, he loved it. Cause like him growing up in Guatemala, he was playing soccer over there, but like, and he was gonna go big, but he said he broke his ankle or some shit, or like something like injury. And so then like he carried that dream onto us. He's like, I want you guys to play all these sports and do all these things. So like remember when you told me like, you know, you didn't watch a lot of TV when you were a kid? I'm like, nah, dude, I didn't watch like any TV. If anything, I would only watch TV at like 9 o'clock before bed, but like during the day or like in the morning, like never.
Dang.
It's like when you tell me about shows and shit, I was never home.
So the other day, remember when I asked you, like, oh, like, have you ever seen, like, do you remember La Hora Pico? And you're like, no. I was like, bro, what do you mean? Like, not even your dad would watch it?
That's the thing. Like, I'm sure my parents would watch it, but like, we had our TVs in our room, and like,
y'all are fancy. We can never do that.
But like, we grew up on video games. You know what I mean? So like that's what we would do instead of watch TV. If I watch TV, it's because like it was we were like secretly watching WWE. I would watch like, I don't know, like cartoons and shit, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like Teen Titans. Like that was my shit. And yeah, like
I think like growing up for me, it was like all novelas. Like I know every single old novela growing up, I would know it. And then late night shows that my dad would watch would be like La Hora Pico. I don't know if people remember, but there's this like show with like I forgot his name, but it was called Otro Rollo, which was funny as fuck. Like that show was so funny. And then like La Familia Peluche,
I know
that one, and a couple other ones. And then like newer ones that like would come out and stuff, but it was very much like that, like late night and like just novelas and shit. Oh, and El Gordo y la Flaca. We would always watch that because my dad would come home and like that would be on TV. So he'd be like, fuck it, let's watch. And it would just be like puro chisme, you know, but it was entertaining.
I missed all of that, but I feel like when I started paying attention to what my parents were watching, it was like Doce Corazones, like stuff like that. So this is like early, this is
but
like
that's
recently,
like,
you know?
I was more of like Univision. So like Doce Corazones was, was it like Telemundo?
It might have been.
It was like on a
Telemundo.
different like channel.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure like those other channels allowed more swearing than like Univision. Like Univision was super censored. And like that's why we didn't watch the other ones, because my parents thought that it was like, oh, it's too vulgar or whatever. Like this is a little safer, you know.
Okay, I
But
see what you mean. Mm-hmm. See, yeah, like they never passed on shows like that to us. I don't want to say like I feel like my parents. See, this is. I don't want to say it like they tried to keep us away from our culture, but I feel like we grew up very around like a lot of people. Like my middle school was very diverse. It was just a very diverse school, and like I hung out with kids who weren't Hispanic. But for a long time, like I didn't know that I was Hispanic. Like my parents were never like, "This is what you are. Like you're Mexican." I just figured like that's just what everyone is, you know. And until like high school, that's when I started realizing like, oh shit, like there's a lot of like stuff going on. There's a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people, and but definitely like eighth grade, like kindergarten through eighth grade, I just thought everyone just kind of what's the same thing, you know.
Dang.
But high
I
school
grew
really
up
divided.
like on the side of town that I was in. It was like all like Hispanics, like all of them, like Hispanics. Like we'd have some white kids, you know. There's a decent amount of white kids, but it was like very much like being Mexican was like the thing. Like yeah, like we're Mexican, you know. And it was like really fun. And I was talking to my friend the other day. Like I never had a white friend growing up. Never, never. Like I was never friends with white people growing up until like college. And then I was like, oh, and I almost felt like out of place because there was no one that was like really Mexican or like into the same stuff that I was. So it was very much like I almost felt like that part was getting erased just a little bit, because I'm like, like I feel like I have to assimilate now, you know, and like, okay, let me watch my shows and listen to my music in my dorm, you know, like, oh, just in my headphones, you know, because like that wasn't like the norm, like at RMU,
You
like
felt
that wasn't.
embarrassed?
No, I didn't feel embarrassed, but like that's just not what other people are listening to. Like they're not watching this stuff, so it kind of sucked. But then I was kind of like, fuck it, let me just do whatever, and yeah. I kind of still feel that way now, just because like the Hispanics that are around me, the Latinos that are around me, like you were saying, they didn't grow up on that either. So like I don't know, it's just like really confusing.
But I
But
appreciate that like you send me like the playlist you sent me. Like I genuinely do want to be
in the know,
in the know, I guess, you know, because Manny loves like he listens to Spanish music like all day.
Manny's on his tacuache shit. I fuck with it.
Eventually, everyone listening to this is gonna meet Manny. He's gonna be here. So he's gonna be here. But
Yeah, the other day I went on live and I was like, oh, what should I play, guys? And I was like, low key, I want to play like some tacuache shit, but like, I don't know if people are down. And they're like, fuck it, play it. And then I did. They're like, oh, like the chiveas. I'm like, bro. But I did. It was fun. They fucked with it. We really appreciate everyone that's like joining the lives and like on Instagram or on TikTok. And they're like, hey, like, you know, we fuck with the pod. Like, we really appreciate it, guys. Like, I know we tell you guys all the time, but like knowing whoever's out there, like, it's really nice to know, you know. I met some really cool people like over the past couple days.
that's what I was gonna ask you because you said you're gonna like
Fill you in.
right?
Shout out to username Pink Plup. That's my girl. Not me confusing the valley for somewhere in California when she was like, no, like it's Texas. I was like, oh shit.
Okay. I feel like do we get a lot of listeners from Texas?
Well, the people from the live were a lot of them they were from Texas, I feel like. But that's really cool, guys. I really love that you guys really reached out and, you know, just hung out with me, just doing
Right.
stuff. Hopefully we get to do one soon. I know we promised some people, Jason and I doing some mimosas in the morning, so we'll see. We'll see. But really fun.
Dude, my tolerance is so low. I have like one mimosa.
One
and I'm
mimosa
like-
is like, what the fuck? I'm dead.
You wanna hit this bowl?
Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Go ahead. Does it feel hot in here? Are you cold?
No, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing a short sleeve.
I don't know if it's that. I think that maybe it's like the lights.
I think it's lights, and you're wearing a sweater.
True. Okay. So you know how there's different like alternate dimensions and shit, right? So let's say
Parallel
like
universes.
right. Which Jackie would you like to meet? If you could pick one.
If this is gonna sound really dumb, but just because in a previous episode, like I have talked about like how I want to be in the know, but I would want to meet like really famous rich Jackie. You know, just to like see like what do you know?
That'd be cool.
Is it true that Hillary Clinton skinned a child alive and wore the skin on her face? Let's see. What do you know? Dude, people merch really hard that they've seen that video, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it's
You're not
very...
down to look for it right now?
Fuck no.
I'm down.
Not down.
I'm down. I'll watch you after we finish recording. I'm gonna try to find it.
No, dude. No, you need to go, like, super dark web for that.
My
like,
phone gets flagged.
Exactly. We get flagged right now. What was that? The knock at the door?
They're asking about car insurance.
What?
You haven't gotten those calls?
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant, like, people going door to door for car insurance. I was like, I've never got that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure there's, like scammers that, like, do that. Like, they go door to door. Terrible.
Dude, with scam calls, I've been trying to... I don't... What's it called? I just took one fucking hit. But with scam calls, I try to not say anything. So, like, if I know I'm getting a scam call, I'll answer, but I won't say anything. And eventually, they'll just hang up. Because what they're trying to get is, like, you saying hello and, like, you answering questions and shit.
Like, saying, like, certain keywords.
Yeah, so they can get into your
scary.
account. So, like, if you know they're a scam call, like, don't say yes. Like, don't answer anything with yes. Because they're just recording your voice. But, like, just don't say anything at all. And, like, they'll literally eventually just hang up.
Oh, shit.
Because they're trying to say
You're
who
getting
speaks
smart.
first.
Getting smarter.
Dude, my phone let me know that I was getting a scam call. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I was sitting in the living room and I was on TikTok and I just like, when you get a phone, the little notification bar pops up at the top. It was saying likely scam. And I don't know why, but I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I thought someone like put the caller ID as that, or like I was like, damn, these phones are getting fucking smart.
That's cool. I wonder if it's like a recent update because I've never had that before, and I get a shit ton every day. Let me know. I was gonna say something about like scammers. What were we saying before the scam calls?
About like alternate like use. Oh, about like you being by Hillary.
About the dark web.
We're gonna do an episode where we go on the dark web.
Stop. That's scary.
That'd be cool actually if we just go on the dark web like right now and then we just start talking about like what we see. I'd be down. I
don't think I would.
Dude, I'd be down to like buy like an old laptop, like $100.
Like a burner.
Yeah.
Shit.
Because I would not want to do that shit on my laptop.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think any sane person would do it. Maybe someone like really dumb, but like, yeah, no. You definitely need a burner.
Me at 16.
See, like if, you need like a VPN. I don't even know how to get one of those.
Well, those you can just like download. They have like apps and shit for that now. But like, I'm not sure if it's legit. Like the VPNs that like actual like techie computer people use, I'm sure like their VPNs are just like not what the app is.
Right.
I don't know.
We'll see. Okay, guys, we're gonna do like a lot of research, and like next time we'll do
Oh,
it.
that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
That would be kind of scary.
Dude, let's like schedule that for like a month. Like next month, a month from this date.
You really want to go in the dark, but like that depends. Like, what do you want to see? Because there's a lot of shit
Or
out
maybe
there.
we take
but, like,
suggestions from people.
oh, okay. What
Like,
do you
look
guys?
for
What do you
this.
guys want us to look up in the dark web? Please, nothing crazy, unless you guys want that. Like nothing too crazy, but
Yeah, nothing that like will fucking scar me for the rest of
Yeah.
my life.
like I know a lot of people like they buy drugs on there.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh, you want to buy drugs? Have you seen those videos? People like drop from planes and shit. They drop big
Oh, yeah,
ass
yeah.
parcels.
if you guys want us to potentially buy drugs, just kidding. Just to see what it's like. No, I'm kidding. But not for real. If you guys want us to like go on there, search up some stuff, like we'll do it. Have you seen that like TikTok of like the chart where it's like stuff that's like on the dark web and it's like there's like levels to it. And like the top is like very much like stuff people like everyone looks up, and then like down like below it's like some crazy
Fuck.
shit. Like some shit that's like, I would never want to do that. I'll do like level 1 or 2, you know?
What's on 2?
I don't know.
Like
I
what's
just,
past buying drugs? Like buying weapons? Hitman?
yeah, hitman, definitely.
Fuck. That'd be crazy. I'm down though, so we'll see. I'll look into it. We'll
Damn.
get a burner.
Fuck it.
All right, cool.
Speaking of hitmen, so I had an compulsive liar ex-boyfriend. This isn't the scammer one. I don't know if you guys like remember that I said in a previous episode, like I've only had like 2 ex-boyfriends, and like one is the scammer one, and then like the other one, he unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. But this was him. Like he was definitely like compulsive liar. And if you know anyone that's like a compulsive liar, like they would just lie for anything, like very small mundane things, like there was really no reason to lie about this stuff. And I didn't realize until like towards the end where I was like, what the fuck? Like these are getting out of control. But one of the lies that he said was that him and his buddy saved up like a bunch of money and like hired a hitman from the dark web. And I was like, bro, you are 19. Like, no, you didn't. I was like, what the fuck? But I was like, whatever, okay. But yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Wait, but he didn't tell you anything more than that?
No, he just like said that. He was like, yeah, like we just but we didn't know. He said that he didn't know, or him and the guy didn't know who they wanted to kill. So like they just didn't do it. I was like, okay.
You know what that sounds like? I don't know why that brought up this memory, but I had a cousin who like one day Jonathan sent us a screenshot and they're like, yo, isn't this like what's his name? And I was like, what the fuck? What did he do? It's his mugshot. It's my younger cousin. And I was like, oh my god. And like the title read something like school shooter. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, okay, let me go to the article, and I read the article. And so he fucking posted like a toy gun or something in his Snapchat story.
Wait, your cousin?
Yeah, my cousin was like, oh, this is for like tomorrow or some shit, like some like threatening shit, right? Like on Snapchat,
no.
some very threatening shit. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And like apparently someone reported it, and like the school right away like got
Took
involved
action.
and took action, and like yeah, and the cops got his ass.
What the fuck?
But his defense was,
It was a joke.
it was a joke, right? He was just joking, and it was like a toy plastic gun and shit. But
But like, did the gun look fake? Because there's some
Nah,
toy
probably
guns that look
not.
real.
right, that's probably what it was.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
But like that's what that reminds me of. like the fakeness of it. Like just you're just saying it just to like say it.
outrageously shocking stuff.
Yeah.
I have no idea. See, but that was like one of like the really big ones. Like the smallest one that I think I remember him like saying, which this one I did believe, because like why would you lie about something like this, was like his birthday.
What the
like
fuck?
He said like, oh, like my birthday is like July 24th. And like July 24th came, and I think we like celebrated his birthday. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then a couple years ago, like I did go to his service, and I saw, you know, like the little funeral cards that they give out. Well, like it had like his birthday and like, you know, whatever.
I thought this was the other ex.
No,
The
this
compulsive liar.
this is him. This is the
The one who passed?
yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the other one.
The scammer?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
That's something else. But he like lied about his like birthday, because then I saw like on the funeral card it said like born July 27th. And I remember like a girl that was like one of our mutual friends, and I was like, oh my God, like they fucked it up. Like this is terrible because this is funeral. And like it had this like birthday. It's like, no, like I'm pretty sure that's like right. You know, like I'm sure his parents overlooked this, and like they were like, no, this is his birthday, you know? And I was like, wait, like he always told me it was like the 24th. And she looked at me and she was even like, bro, he lied about a lot of shit. And I was like, I know, but like,
But why about your
but
birthday?
like, why about your birthday? Like, I didn't get it. But I was like, okay, I guess.
But like, why?
I don't know.
I
Like,
don't
I don't know what it
understand
is
why.
about like compulsive liars that they have to lie. I don't know.
That's so weird to me. Mm-hmm. Would you, like, if you caught him on spot, would you say something?
I always
Did you ever
think
call him out
about
for it?
No. I'd just be like, what the fuck? Like, just what? But no, I always think about like, oh, like, what if I did? Or like at one point, like, I wish I would have, you know? But I mean, it happened. Yeah, it was a while ago. So
You
now
yourself was like, what the fuck?
yeah. But now I'm just like, let's not do that again. But like, I did kind of realize like, oh, well, like it was like this and this, or like he did this, like when he would like lie or whatever. And now I'm just like, well, I think for the future I would know. Like I'm like smarter because of this. It's just like knowing like what's real, what's not.
Right.
And I hate lying. Like, I think it was maybe like that instance that like after that, like I hated liars. Like you lie to me, like that's it. Like you're done. Like I don't see any need for it. So I just hate that shit.
Yesterday when we were playing Chameleon, you gotta tell the part about this game. I think I never heard about it. I thought it's a cool game.
Yeah, my friends from back home, they put me on because they have the game, and I was like, bro, like I fuck with this game hard. So I went to like 4 Targets to like find like this like a trivia game. It's not like a board game, but it's not like a just card
It's like
game.
a trivia card game.
Yeah, something like that. And it's called the Chameleon. They sell it at Target. It's really fun. It's just like basically, I think the preface of it, like the idea of the game is very common in like other games, where it's like there's a category and like everyone knows this category except one, and like that one is like the chameleon, and everyone's just trying to figure out who that is. So the chameleon doesn't know the category, like they know the category but they don't know the specific word. So
There's a little card in front of you that gives you like different, like if the category is genre, it lists all the different genres of movies.
So like everyone else knows what the genre that was picked is, and this one person doesn't. And at the end, like everyone has to guess who this chameleon is. So like you just have to be a good liar. Be like, oh, like no, like why am I the chameleon? Like you said this, you know, like don't look at me. But it's all about like being a good liar, like good poker face.
So what makes you a good liar? Because you did really good. Not gonna lie.
You think so?
The first one, dude, you got me in the first one. I was like, oh, Jackie's being like super honest right now. Like she's on my
Right.
side.
Yeah,
Like maybe that's what it is.
Because
I
like
don't
you
know.
have to shift a little blame. Like you have to like shift the blame to someone else just and to plant the seed for the other person. You know what I'm saying?
You got my ass. I was like, oh yeah, I'm
You have
convinced.
to, yeah.
Because Gio was just like, he wasn't saying anything. And I was like, oh, this fucking, he got it. You know, he got it.
Yeah. You kind of have to maneuver quietly. But it's a good game.
Yeah, it's
I
really,
recommend it.
It was really fun. So like, were you, like you were trying to figure out like our quirks and shit? Like, what do we do when we lie? Like
Yeah.
Gio and I?
No, definitely. Because you guys, like, right away when, like, we would pick the cards, you guys, like, would either take a little too long or, like...
Dude, I fucked up the first time. The first dude, I looked at it and put it down right away.
I was like, why would he do that? You don't want to look at what it is.
See, but like, I didn't see what the cards were, what your guys' cards looked like. So I didn't like really understand the full game yet.
It was the
You know what
first one.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
the
the
first
first
one.
round. But
No, it's fun.
good game. Dude, what's a red flag that you see in someone? But like make it like a funny one, you know, like be
Let's
like
keep
not like
it
nothing
lighthearted.
obvious, right?
Like a
lighthearted.
red flag for like a friendship or like a
Like what's
relationship.
one for yourself, right? What's one for yourself that like someone might see a red flag in you, and then
For
what's
myself.
yeah, like mine,
Okay.
like the one I told you, and then one for
Or
someone
like a
else.
partner.
Yeah,
Wait, so what's the one that you said? Like red flag for you?
like yeah. So like if someone had to know one thing about you that you do that like do you feel like
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 that
they
might
should
be
know
a-
about?
Like that might be the red flag for them.
Uh-huh.
Wait, so what's yours?
So one time in 8th grade, this girl and I were having a conversation, right? And she was just like, the Beatles are better, right? Or the Beatles are the best. And I was like, no, Lil Wayne's better. I was like, no, Lil Wayne's better. And dude, she started crying.
You're
I
lying.
swear to God, it sounds like I'm making it up. But if you ask anyone around us, like I remember seeing her like in the back of the classroom, like crying.
Eyes were getting red. Like,
Yeah, and I was just like, oh,
not
what's
Ringo
wrong?
Starr.
I was just like, what's wrong to my other friends around her? And they're like, oh, like you made her cry. You said Lil Wayne's better than the Beatles. And I swear to God. And to this day, like my friends still bring it up about like, remember how you made what's her name cry?
Oh, wait, so how is that a red flag to you? Oh, like saying that you like Lil
But
Wayne?
like I was like so adamant about Lil Wayne. I was like, oh, this is the dude. Like this is the GOAT, the best lyricist of all fucking time. Metaphors
Oh
are
my
crazy, you know.
God.
Like I was all about it. It's like
That's
the
so
fact that like
funny.
I was so like, what's it called? I was such a huge fan of his.
Right.
Right.
Damn. If they're like a really big Lil Wayne fan, then that's a red flag. But I think that's more with like Eminem. If he's a really big Eminem fan, like
Dude, you and I had this
that's fucking
conversation.
Scary.
You and I had this conversation like last year though. You're a big fan of Eminem.
I was.
Let me
I was
make
a
that
fan of the
straight.
Recovery album. That
Oh,
was
the
it.
recovery was so good.
That's what I'm saying. But I've strayed away. He's got hits though. I'll give him that.
Nah, I haven't listened to him in a minute, but
I would say like my red flags. Yeah, I don't think it's like as funny as that, but like I would say like I love talking. I love telling stories. Like I've always loved that. Like as a kid, like sometimes like I know that I would annoy people. Like I know people just want to be like shut the fuck up. But I think like I interrupt people a lot because I want to get like my thoughts across before I lose them. So I'm just like, oh, like you're saying this, like let me like also
I
say
feel you.
something. So like to them, like I know it's a really big thing for like me and my boyfriend because he wasn't used to that. And he like told me that I did that a lot. And I was like, oh shit. So like I kind of like step back a little bit because I don't like interrupting people. Like especially if like I know that they're not going to take it the same way as I do. Like they might be like, what the fuck? Like don't do that. So I was like, oh, But yeah.
I don't think it's that.
But
That's
like
not
to
like,
other people, that's like my red flag.
Okay,
You know, like okay,
I see what
like,
you mean.
You know?
Yeah. Because I feel like I interrupt too, and like I feel bad, like especially when you hear it on here. Like when I hear, I'm like, oh, like, man, shut the fuck up, like let her talk, you know. But like you said, like sometimes I just have that thought, and it's like, all right. But that's a good one. That's a good one. So how about now and someone else?
See, this depends on like relationships, like how far you take a relationship before you actually become serious. You know, for like some people, like, oh, I have to know really like everything about you to like kind of give you a chance, you know? So I would want to see like their living situation. Like, if I just see that it's a little like dirty, like it's a no. Like that's a red flag.
That's a good one.
Like if the bottom of their toilet is dusty and dirty, that's a red flag. Like I
Just
get that you could probably
hygiene.
clean like your toilet bowl, but like you gotta get the bag. Don't be gross.
That's a good one. Fuck. I don't know if I like. I need to think about like mine.
That or if their like socks are really dirty.
I think unmatching socks is something that gets me because my socks always have to be matched.
Oh my god. I think like dirty socks get me for sure.
Oh, I think like this one might not be like that serious, but like messy eaters. Not necessarily like crumbs on the table, but like I've always been so adamant about keeping my hands clean while I'm eating. It's just like a thing about me. Like my hands, like I have to either just be using one hand, but like someone just like goes in there and like digs in, you know, like with
Yeah.
hands and everything. Like that bothers me. Not
Well,
bothers me, but like you know, it's
You
a
kind of
little
cringe
like
a little.
yeah.
That I think that would go more for like fuck what was I gonna say? Like when it's like food that like you don't have to touch this with your hands. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like
right.
wings, I get it. You know, but like other shit like a pasta, why are your hands dirty? For what?
Isn't it to take the one?
They
and
take
just,
the
like-
one strand, like eat it. They want to like finger the bowl so they get all the sauce and eat it.
Dude, Jonathan had this finger, like his little pinky, where he'd like use to separate food. Like I said, like with rice, he'd like take the pea off, you know, or, like the carrot, and just like use his little pinky to take it off. And my mom's always like, "Mira, un dedo."
That is so funny.
Or like ribs, like that always grossed me out. Like people on TV would have like ribs like all over them, like face, like they need a whole ass bib for that. Like bro,
Oh my god.
like bro, it's not that good.
There's I'm pretty sure it was ribs. I'm almost positive it was ribs. There's this one place in Tennessee that has like I think it's like Nashville, and this restaurant's called like Peg Leg Porkers, and they sell literally the best ribs. Cause it was like a rack. Yeah, like a rack of ribs. It was so good. It had like this dry rub on it. Dude, the best ribs ever. Like when we were gonna go, I really wanted to stop by because oh my God, that place is
You should have
so
said
fucking
something.
good. I always say to my boyfriend, like, bro, if we go, like when we were gonna go for spring break to Florida, we were gonna stop by on our way back, but we did like the times were fucked up and like we ended up getting like in Nashville like too late at night that we weren't gonna be able to
Damn.
make it. I was super bummed because I was really looking forward to it.
It was like 9:05 and then closed at 9.
No, yeah, it was like really close where we were like on the highway where we could have gotten off, but it was like 9 or 10. So like definitely close. But it's fire.
I used to not like ribs. I just didn't like the taste. But eventually I was like, oh, let me just quit being a little fucking pussy and shit, you know? So then I
Maybe it was like the way they were prepared.
think that's what it is. Because the way my parents got it, it always came in like this bucket. And I'm not sure like where they got it from, but I think it was like the sweetness to it. Like if it's too sweet, I don't think I'm a fan of barbecue sauce if it's too sweet. Because I feel like the meat shouldn't be sweet, you know? It shouldn't be like drowned in it.
It creates people would say it creates a balance between the sweet and the meat taste, savory. Yeah.
Okay. So again, we're doing a giveaway. We're announcing the details next week on 420. This
Yes.
one comes out the
The
15th.
15th?
15th.
Yep. So stay tuned for the 420 episode, which is the one that's going to be next. We're super excited. Like we said, we're going to do a giveaway, and we'll get more details out to you guys through the next episode. We don't want to give, like I said, too much away on the social media because we really want the people that get a chance to be a part of the giveaway to really be real supporters and people who consistently listen to us and stuff. So we're excited, guys.
For sure. See you
But
guys.
yeah, thanks guys. Bye.